A performance worth waiting for from William Saliba. You gave him man of the match, Jamie.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I mean, he didn't have too much to do in the first half, but there was one moment where Arsenal were pushing him to halfway in a lot in that first half. Patrick Anderson kept putting balls over the top. But there was one ball that just went in behind the Arsenal back four, in behind Ben White. He just come across, but he was running with someone. I think it must have been Edouard at the top end of the pitch, and the way he dealt with it, just, that big long stride, getting his left arm across. He looks the part. Even before you see him play, if you see him run out for the ball, you think, oh, he looks the part, he looks a good player, and you're just looking for signs of it. And I just think for such a young age, how he dealt with that second half, a couple of times helping Ben White, balls into the box. I think Arsenal fans have been excited about this lad for a while. He's gone on loan to France for 3 different teams actually each season, finished at Marseille, but you can argue, was it right to put him out? But a 21-year-old playing centre-back in the Premier League, do you want to be doing that when you're 19, 20? It's not easy. But he looked the real deal. We've mentioned Zinchenko and Jesus a lot before this game, saying they were big problem positions that have now been filled for Arsenal. But bringing him in, I think, certainly adds something, because we've always felt they were weak. Coming here, first game of last season, Brentford, they got bullied here last season. And it's just his physical stature, I think, will certainly help them in tough away games.
It's interesting that the path that he's taken, particularly because he partnered Fofana in defence in Saint-Etienne, and he in the first half. What did you make of it?
I mean, I said they played like a big team. Now, Arsenal are a big team, they're a big club, but when I talk about playing like a big team, I'm talking about Man City or Liverpool. I'm talking about one of the top teams that you think wherever they go, they dominate the opposition. And it felt like you were watching Man City or Liverpool in that first 20 minutes, half an hour. Completely dominated Crystal Palace. Whether that was something to do with Crystal Palace's slow start, the pre-season, you started trying to gauge it as you're watching it. And I felt Crystal Palace would get stronger as they did. But some of the football and how quickly they got the ball back was really impressive in those first 20, 30 minutes. And we saw that at times last season. But I just thought the added influx of certainly Jesus, Zinchenko was really classy on the ball in that first half, and Saliba at the back. It just felt like they've really strengthened.
I was more impressed in the second half with them, because I think the first half I expect them to do, Martinelli, Odegaard, Jesus, Saka. I actually expect them to be brilliant and electric like they were, because they're fantastic players. We've lauded them for the last 12 months, those players, and said they're brilliant. But the question mark over Arsenal will be, have they got that robustness and resilience, physicality to handle those difficult 15-20 minutes in away matches that they got in that second half here against Crystal Palace? And I think they got through that, and that impressed me. And that's, I think, something that I'll be looking at more, you'll be looking at more in the next few weeks. When they get tested in matches, can they stand up to it? And they did tonight.
Patrick Vieira talked before the match about Crystal Palace being aggressive towards Arsenal. Do you think Arsenal coped well with that style?
I think they did. They did cope really well in that second half. But I thought Crystal Palace were brilliant in the second half, and the way they play, it's almost a unique place to play. It feels like an old-fashioned ground. It's not like a big, huge new stadium where the pitch is really big. It's really tight. Supporters on top of you. The amount of times they win the ball back, or they're getting fouls, or they're trying to play 1-2s on the edge of the box. It's not an easy place to come to, and it's because of that. I think if Crystal Palace left here and went to somewhere with a bigger pitch, maybe the fans were a little bit further away, it'd almost be a doddle for some teams, certainly the top teams, to come here. But that's why it's so tough. It's like a throwback. Even like the atmosphere behind the ground is a throwback to sort of, the 80s or the 90s, really, where the game's just end to end. There's lots of challenges, and that's what they live off here. The crowd, get up. Zaha goes down, he gets a free kick, lifts everybody, and they've got so many players who can cause you problems like that. So